I just wonder how long this is. All right, we've started live now, and this is my first time doing this setup. My name is Bob Rutledge. If you don't know me, I have been doing marketing mainly. I think the toe in the door with me has always been Google business, Google advertising. We'll do videos on Google advertising. This is not going to be one of them, but I've been doing it since before there was a Google. I know it sounds crazy. There was Yahoo was the big search engine back when I started doing paid advertising for contractors. And a lot's changed, yet nothing's changed. It's with paid advertising because in general, you got to have someone to manage it more than ever now. But today we're going to talk about 4 hot topics of contractor survival, 4 issues you can't ignore. And so settle in, let's get to know each other. Let's discuss this and just see how it turns out. Maybe it'll start something beautiful. It's my first live broadcast out here. If you are listening in, do not hesitate to click on here. I'm on StreamYard. I discovered it probably 8 years ago, but I don't ever use it because it didn't have a really good approach at using it and a reason to use it. Used to I got out and made sales calls all day. Typically when I get a customer, I hang on to them for 10 years. So it's not like I have big turnover. And this month I've had 3 new clients. So YouTube is paying off for me big. And if you've not explored it and how to work yourself into it, you need to. Again, setting this up today is totally, I did not have this in mind when I woke up today. I had it in mind to do a long format video, but not a live one. And so you just have to experiment around and figure out what works for you. As lame as that sounds, that's how I started, and that's how we will keep going from here. So I'm going to dive into the topic at hand, not saying it's going to be my greatest topic ever. Let's see. I don't know. But I told ChatGPT to tell me 4 things that small blue collar type contractors need to be concerned about. Whether it's at top of mind today or not, you need to have it at top of mind. We're going into the weekend. Maybe you can spend some time mulling over this. I know you've been up to your nose in alligators all week. Take a time tonight. Today's Friday. Take a time today if things are slow. Take a time tomorrow to think about what you're going to do about these 4 topics that we're going to talk about. One is primary today, and take action now, and that's lead capture and missed calls. You take for granted that the way you're doing it's right. Maybe, I don't know. I've got one contractor that doesn't even answer his calls anymore. He's older and got an established clientele, but he always needs new people, new customers. And so what we did was put his phones on an answering service, in particular an AI answering service, because that's all he could afford. It's really all any of you can afford. And nowadays, that's all any of you really need. Even the biggest call centers are going to switch over to AI. It's here. It's ready to do now. It's just somebody having the cojones to let go 25. I've been in call centers for plumbing contractors, heating and air contractors that had 30, 40 people in them. I'm talking about local, like not a nationwide company, like a Atlanta company. Had 30 or 40 people in the room. 2 computer monitors, the whole, everything you picture a call center to look like. And yet they started out as 2 or 3 trucks when I first met them. And so those people need to look for new jobs because it's gone. On the other hand, it's now a time that you can be competitive with these people because of AI, that no longer is the venture capital needed to doll up all the trucks and hire 60 people and run advertising throughout the entire metropolitan area. You can come across as a big company, but with low prices, because you're, as a polished company, but with low prices, and yet not be bottoming out, just selling things based on price. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So it all starts with lead capture. Let's look over here. Let me see if I can enlarge this one. It'll make it easier for me to look at and kind of look at you at the same time. How do I do that? Boop. And this is what I do. I do it like that. So, you pay money to make the phone ring, whether it's to put your phone number on the side of your truck, or Google pay-per-click ads, Google local service ads. We need to do a program about that. And so when you make the phone ring, it's not free. It costs you some money. The issue is you're not answering the calls correctly. You're missing the calls entirely in many cases. I can show you proof. I record in my business, and if you're not doing this, you need to do call tracking. Any kind of advertising you ever do needs to have its own phone number. They are so inexpensive now. There are services like CallRail that will do that. I literally, because we do so many contractors, I built my own CallRail, so that knocks 50% of the cost off for me, and also allows me to provide some more tailored services with the data, because data's everything. Data's everything, even for a small guy, 1 or 2 trucks. You don't know what you don't know, and you can't look at it until you see it on a graph over the past year. I divert. So I get sidetracked easy. You're going to find that over time. But it kills your revenue. It actually has a compounding effect on killing your revenue. Think about it. If you miss just one call this month, and that turns out to be a job, that hurt you. But it's not a linear effect to it. If you miss one every month, and let's say each of those calls on average cost you $2,000, it's not $24,000 over a year. What it is, you missed satisfying that customer, and then they tell people they know. And so you missed that customer plus the 2 or 3 they would have brought to you, plus the 1 or 2 those people would have brought to you. So yeah, that one missed call, that one mishandled sales lead has a multiplying effect. So it's revenue over the years, not the decades. If not the decades. It's not just a linear, I missed one call, I missed $2,000. It's you missed one call, you missed more than $24,000 for the year. You missed 28 or 36,000 for the year. You missed 120 or 200,000 for the decade. So I hope that point gets across there. You've got to start paying more attention to it. And some of you do by spending money on things like House Call Pro is a good example. Jobber. You're trying to get organized and handle things in a methodical way. But then what those products lead to is they have all your company data. You can't move away from them if you choose to. You've bitten off more than you can chew is what's going to always happen, because all you need, and all of you have this at your disposal, Google Contacts. None of you are using Google Contacts the way it can be used for a small business. Google Spreadsheets to kind of set up a CRM type system, and Google Email. There's ways now to track everything that goes through and you're just not taking advantage of it. In fact, let me go to the next slide here. Let's zoom in on this. So you don't have a CRM for follow-up. Why not? It doesn't have to be an expensive paid for one. It could be, first of all, Google Calendar is the most powerful tool that every Gmail account gets. It only gets a little more powerful if you buy their $12 a month workspaces from Google. But you can build your own workflow or CRM within that. You can start tracking all of your calls within that. You can follow up on quotes you gave days ago, weeks ago, and close those deals later on down the line. You need to come up with a systematic way to follow up on things. And that's what a CRM will do for you. With the advent of AI, you do not need, especially anybody under 5 trucks, you do not necessarily need anything like a House Call Pro when you can now use AI, have a person like myself build you a really good one, and then you own it. And you own all the data in it. And just for a few $100s, a few $1,000s, whatever. But it's better than paying thousands. I was talking to a couple the other day, just a husband and wife. They were getting ready to sign a contract on $4,000 a year worth of software just to be their CRM. I think that's a major mistake if you do that. But they don't know any better. So pass that on to people. You don't have to do this anymore. There are incredible programs out there. That one that I use is called Airtable, and you can build a CRM in it and customize it the way you do work. You've got invoicing products out there. And I mean, everybody, you're going to have to get an accounting program because that's what you've got to give to your accountant. So it's going to be either Xero or QuickBooks. I think there's a few new ones coming out now, but they have invoicing in them. And so they'll even try to say their call tracking and all that stuff, but just look, leave it to where it's at. But one missed call, let's repeat this without beating a dead horse. One missed call is money left on the table. It has a multiplying effect over time because you're not getting that review. You're not getting that new customer that would have referred a new customer. And so this is where you've got to tighten the screws down. Regardless of what stage you're at in your business, this is the most important, and this is the easiest. I won't say any of them's easy to change, but you can change it. All right, now let's talk a little bit about pricing and margin controls. I am not a super expert at this because I, for 25 years now, have been selling a group of products that I just price together. Here's the price. You've been with me a certain amount of time. You may get an extra discount on it. I don't sell too many one-off products. There's people out there though that do have experience in building pricing books for plumbers, pricing books for fence contractors, pricing books. You've got the history behind you now. Put it in a format to where you can quickly rattle off a quote without leaving something out, and have that quote have the true cost of doing the job. Stop underbidding your jobs. You know how you always hand the customer that final price on that proposal, and you just know you're leaving something out. And unless you just figured up everything and then multiplied it by 3 and handed it to them. But even then, you're probably leaving something out. So take the time this weekend to watch a lot of videos, not one, but find several videos on how to calculate the margin for a business in your particular trade. There's got to be dozens of them out there, if not hundreds. It's the different, and learn the difference between markup and margin. That'd be a good one too. Stop discounting too much. If you are, set floors too. There's just a floor, a lowest level job that you will do. And if I'm going to pause my phone here, sort of quit making all these rackets. Let me put it in airplane mode. Do not disturb 1 hour for 1 hour. There. Pardon me. Turn off your phone for a little while you put all this stuff together so that you're not distracted. But if you find that you're being busy and yet not profitable, you're discounting too much. You're taking jobs that are too small. I was talking to a flooring contractor about this the other day. You've got to set a floor that you won't even walk out the door to go give them a price on the job unless it's a certain amount of dollars. And now, how do you do that? Yeah, how do you ascertain that off of an initial phone call or even multiple phone calls? Well, first of all, nowadays they can take pictures and send them to you. You can start a conversation and kind of dial them in on a realistic budget for their job. I mean, most jobs never get done because they genuinely do not know what the price of remodeling a kitchen is. And so they're going out, kicking tires, just wondering, what does it cost? What does a flooring job cost? I briefly got into the flooring business, sold 12 jobs, installed them, and made a profit on every one of them, even though I'd never been in the business. Now, was it enough of a profit? That remains to be seen. But on the other hand, it paid off a lot of bills, and it was a good experience. I just got tired of sitting here talking to the computer all day long, like I am now, not talking to it really, but, building websites and things. And I decided I wanted to get out. So, yeah, put a floor on your jobs you'll even estimate. But you got to, let me go expand upon that. But you've got to learn to ask the right questions. You cannot just say, okay, what's your address? What do you think this is going to cost? How many square foot? Start asking square footage. Have you done a job like this before? Do you already have materials in mind? Have you priced those materials out? Ask probing questions that will then lead you to believe that these people have a realistic budget. And if they don't have a realistic budget and that budget doesn't meet your minimum floor, then why the hell are you going on sales call? Especially in big cities where you have to drive an hour to get there or more, and then somebody doesn't show up. So I think we've dogged that one enough. Online reputation. Now these are two things that I am indeed an expert at. I deal all day long with helping contractors get 5-star reviews, show up on the Google Map pack. I try to teach them how and why to respond quickly when a lead comes in, reply. In this case, it's talking about replying to your reviews. We work out a way to send a customer satisfaction survey so that the client goes through the questionnaire, and if it's not scored high enough, it will then say the owner of the company will be calling you back to make this right, fix this thing. But if it scores high enough, then it goes, will you leave us a Google review? Will you leave us a, say exactly what you've already said, that sort of thing. So you've got to be on this. It's got to become a part of your workflow daily. There are people out there like Podium and Bird Eye, and they cost a lot of money. And so again, like having someone to answer your phones, you can't afford them. You don't need to afford them now because we can build those systems in place that automatically trigger so that when you run an invoice, I think even QuickBooks has a really watered down version of this, but I would build the questionnaire and the drip campaign to request reviews, because it's going to cost you almost nothing, but it's going to make you a lot of money in a long time. So that when you hit, payment completed, it will send them a questionnaire. Once they answer the questionnaire, it will get the review. You can go ahead and ask them while you're standing there to give a review. I know that, let's see if I can put it up on my camera here. Hold Let's go to one of my customers. Let me just do Suncoast Window and Shades Foley. All right, so of course it wants me to spend more money on advertising. But I just want to go to the website here. So website, and then if you go to, I don't know how I may be doing this wrong. If I go to can I pull it down here? I failed you. Well, here's the website. So here's their website. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's switch back to this mode here. So you can see their website right here. Get the lights out on it. Boop, boop. And let me do it this way. Suncoast draperies and window coverings, Foley, Alabama QR code. Let's see if that page got indexed. Should have had this done ahead of time. So I put a QR code and I can't navigate to it. I'll fix that next time. So I'll put a QR code on their website itself. And when you scan it, it will pull up their Google Business Profile review. I mean, when another phone scans it. And that way they don't even have to carry a card. And a lot of people came out with cards. I did too. And it requests a review then. Another way that I do it is I put a feed on there that shows their Google reviews, but it also has a blue button there that you can click. And, you know, I don't know which way that is. There you go. Not a good. Come on. Oh, go this way. Yeah, go this way. There you go. How about right in front of the camera, Donnie? So now you can see click on that to leave a Google review. Okay. And that's worth its weight in gold. I don't want, when I get people to a client's website, I don't want them to ever leave for anything. And so that makes showing their Google reviews on the website itself, because people will look around and do, study you before they call you. They may come in on pay per click, but they may go look and read your reviews. But what if I keep them there for the whole thing? That's the experience you want to have. And so, yeah, let's do that. So all right, now let's go back to I'm sorry. I wasn't even showing you this stuff. All right. That's how bad I am. So I'm new at this. Let's go back to this version. Show the stage. There you go. Online reputation. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the big one right here. And I didn't realize it wasn't showing it to you. First time. Screwed it up. What can I say? So that's enough dwelling on that. We're going to wrap this up now and do the final slide, which is workforce reliability and succession risks. Neighbor just dealt with this. He died. My next door neighbor has for decades owned an appliance repair business. He did get 99% of the succession worked out with one of his sons, but there for years he couldn't get one of his sons to take over the business. I think what happened, and I'm just talking about what he told me and what I can remember. None of the kids wanted the business. And because, it was just so corny. Daddy did it all his life. And then I think probably one of them got laid off from work one day and said, what else am I going to do? And so he took over Dad's business. And now I think he's actually grown it and, saw what, it's like you teach your kids all the time. Oh, I want you to be happy at work. I want you to only do what teachers teach this. This is where they screw our kids up. Oh, Don't do what, only do what makes you happy for a living. That's why we have so many unemployed people out there dancing and rapping. There's a skilled labor shortage because kids are not learning skills, and our own kids are living off the teat for all these years without having to really get their hands dirty and learn how mama and papa earned a living all these decades. And boy, that's coming back to bite them in the ass now. So they've gone to college, they have no skill set whatsoever, and they're having to learn to do manual labor. Hopefully, if it's skilled manual labor now, they're making some bag, as they want to say. But there's no backup for your business. There are books about this. There are websites. I suggest you look up this weekend in some quiet time so you can hear it really well. If you're 50, 60, 70 years old, you may be in a position where you can sell your business off, but you probably also just think you can. You don't have the assets. You don't have everything systematized to where it can be done. And if systematized if you don't understand what workflows are, if you don't understand, if you've always run your business between your ears, then there's really nothing there left to sell because you're going to be dead or not working the business. If you're young enough and can sell it, and then what happens is people will buy your heating and air business, and then you sign on with them for that first year. And so they're buying that transition. But if you die, your family's left with nothing because the ability to run the business was between your ears. There was no asset really there unless you have everything written down and prepare for succession. And so my biggest question to you is, are you prepared? So that kind of wraps it up. Let me see what's the next slide here. I think, we'll go back to the first one. So I'm leaving this up here for the moment. Some of these areas I am a pretty big expert in, the marketing part, but because I'm in the lead capturing part, that's really why people hire me now but I can help you build your book of business, your price book too. I build databases, I build applications. I don't just do paid pay-per-click advertising anymore. Because the business has just evolved into so much more than that. Websites is a great example. I can build a website now in a fraction of the time it used to take. And so therefore, the quality of a website that you can afford is equal to anything that's out there now, thanks to AI. And so I hope you're taking advantage of all these things. Plug these topics into AI if you've not used it yet, and get it to expound upon it regarding your business, and see what you can do. Use it as an advisor and see what you can do to help prepare yourself for the day when you're no longer able to, or better yet, let's go to this. Let's go full size right here. So, I'm sitting in my office right now, but you can see over my shoulder, that's Miami Cruise Port. In fact, I see Scarlet Lady sitting there among other cruise ships today, Friday the 13th. Maybe you're not dying. Maybe you just want to enjoy life. I know I do. And so we've already got a cruise. Hey, in the comments below, tell me what cruise is your next cruise. We're going on Norwegian Cruise Lines out of New Orleans in March. I don't remember the exact date. I'll start bragging about the exact date. Maybe we'll be on the same cruise ship and we talk a little business while we're out there. Because let's face it, that's what guys like. Give me a cold beer, a bourbon and Coke, and let's talk about, how you capture your leads and work them all the way through the process. The ladies, they can sit over there and get their fruity drinks and talk about the latest handbags. Those are things that don't interest us, and there's no issue with that. So I hope this helps. And but hey, what do I know? Talk to you later.